Live now. So let's start our program. So, so thank you everyone for joining today's program organized by Friends of India Society International. I'm Vivek Sinha, one of the General Secretaries of FISI, welcoming you to this great conference to discuss one of the very vital part of our society, youth. The Friends of India Society International has conducted seminars, workshops, and presentations by distinguished persons on matters of India and the world at large. Friends of India Society International plans to educate the Friends of India all over the world in support of India causes and the world togetherness. In this series, we have a very dynamic presentation on a very good topic by Professor G.S. Murthy. And today's topic is Role of Youths Towards a Greater Harmony in the World. At this time, I have the pleasure to present to you our esteemed leader, the International President of Friends of India Society International, Dr. Bhishma Agnihotri. Dr. Agnihotri has a long list of accomplishments and credentials to his credit. He was the youngest person to be selected on a competitive basis as a judge in India. He served as the first person of India origin to lead an American law school and was dean and chancellor for the longest tenure in American law schools. Dr. Agnihotri was appointed as the first ambassador at large by the government of India in 2001. He traveled the world in strengthening the ties of NRIs from all backgrounds, gender, and religion to our motherland, India. Without further ado, Dr. Agnihotri.
Thank you very much, and I think we should stop talking too much about me. That takes away the time, But anyway, it's always pleasure to have people who have such a distinguished career. Now, our speaker today, Dr. Murthy, is a unique person. He has been a great scholar, worked for 30 years plus in the university. And also, the main thing I liked about him was that he was in association with Sri Nanaji Deshmukh. After he finished his work in the university, as you mentioned, so he was associated with. I have special feeling for Nanaji Deshmukh. I think it's possible. Murthy, you may be there at that time when you was visiting him quite often. I was visiting where he used to work in Delhi. I used to visit quite often because I was very fond of him, and he was very fond of me, and we used to discuss a lot of things on community basis. I know you work with DRI and Sankalp organization, and as you have listed in your references. But I think we are really charged because you have a lot of experience in different variety of things, and you are basically inspired by people we have been inspired with. I was very lucky to have following friendship and blessings of people whom you work with. Therefore, I'm very happy, I'm very pleased that you have this topic. And the topic is so glorious, it's unbelievable. Talking about the world role of youths toward greater harmony in the world. We need harmony, especially we need harmony amongst youth and amongst various countries, youth of various countries, and the world as such. Of course, there are many other issues pending at this time, but that issue is always staying there. So we are happy the person of your eminence is with us uh, to talk to us. So you may use any language you want to use, okay, as you're comfortable. And we have some other people coming in here, and as time goes on, we will have more people coming in. Okay, Dr. Murthy, please start.
Shall I? Thank you, Akinothriji, for kind introduction and Sinhaji for creating this event. I am basically a professor of chemistry, retired as a director of School of Chemistry, Andhra University in 2000. From my childhood, I am associated with the RSS movement. That shaped me several things, and that gave me an opportunity to work with Bharat Ratna Nanaji Deshmukh. He's a versatile man. Kitty, తీసుకెళ్ళి తర్వాత ఆన్సర్ చేస్తారు మీటింగ్ లో ఉండాలని చెప్పి. So he is a visionary, at the same time a practical man. What his vision, he made it possible in Chitrakoot. And after that, I was with Sankalp as resident director. And last 12 years, we are doing work with youth, Indian youth. Universities and colleges, we go to them. And this was started with the pioneer. This was pioneered by Major General N.S. Malik, Niranjan Singh Malik. He is a Deputy Chief of Army, retired. He was also a man inspired by, he was also in BJP for some time. And when he was touring Gujarat in 2012, actually earlier he was doing some welfare measures to ex-servicemen, being a general. And he is touring all over India. And in his Gujarat Pravas, he met our beloved Prime Minister now and the then Chief Minister of Gujarat. And had some exchange in what he is doing, he is explaining. And he simply, नरेंद्र मोदी भाई जी बताया इनको, अरे आप क्या कर रहे हैं एक्स सर्विसमैन के बारे में. They are all disciplined, they know how to conduct their life, they are all productive, they are all positive minded. Don't worry, you go to youth. That's the direction given in 2012. And since then, I am also associated with General Malik in a different platform. Then we were together. I coordinated several meetings of Malik and his team in South India. And we addressed 500,000 students in 10 years. To make it short, those who are all associated with our program during 10 years, we invited them in Delhi for a meeting. And they all felt there are 6 generals, admirals, air vice marshals, air marshals, vice chancellors, ambassadors, IAS retired secretaries, several people, 50 of them total. They all felt we should do something to the youth, future generation. In the youth in India, unfortunately, youth hasn't got proper inputs and direction. They are all, their energies are all staggered and wasted most of the time. So we formed a platform, Youth for Nation, That what we are doing last 12 years, it is culminated in this meeting. And then the name Youth for Nation cropped up. Earlier, there was no name for Youth for Nation. Now we are registering it also as a trust. Myself and General Vishnukanta Chaturvedi ji, who is the present chairman of ex-servicemen. We both are chief coordinators national level, and we have a very good team. And if you see website, you will find all of them. Very good team and speakers and members, more capable than we also. They're all contributing. So in that connection only I came, it happened, my visit to US, partly personal. There is a marriage in my house, in my family. Only to attend that marriage I came on May 11th. Since then I'm traveling on this mission only in US. I covered Houston, Florida, New Jersey, New York, Chicago, and Detroit so far. And I came to Raleigh, North Carolina. We had 3-4 meetings here also. Good groups have come. Okay, that is the mission now on hand. So Youth for Nation, we have been working with youth since last 12 years, or more than 10 years. So Indian youth, we have addressed several colleges. We come across different standards of youth, academic standards, understanding also their background, their rural youth, and then urban youth, and then IITs, NITs, central universities, you will get a different material. All these things we have appreciated. We experienced. And since our topic is mainly centered to national security, national integration, and national consciousness, to give some inputs to the youth. So we had always positive response whenever our elderly people talking to them. Now coming to our topic, the role of youth. I should say, I'm not a great scholar, nor a speaker also. In the sense, that's a popular speaker who can sway the audience. But I always share my experience, and what I feel, I tell. That's all. Now, youth is a stage in life, and life is like a flow of river. We know that. The time lost, we can't get it. The flow, we can't touch the same waters in the river again. Similarly, the life. Youth is the vital, in a sense, where you get the material and exposure to shape your life better if it is properly used. And there are several attempts and several directions, several processes in Indian system, because I do not know much about other countries, but other countries also, they have their own systems and giving shaping to the youth, to the requirements of the social well-being. But ours is well-defined methods and materials are available. Unfortunately, we lost the continuity of that because of foreign invasion, including Mughal and then Britishers. And people say it is the British that made more damage to our social fabric than the Mughal or Islamic. That's a debate. That's not the question now. Anyhow, we lost the connection, continuity of this process. I will tell you one thing. We have Vedic literature, followed by Upanishad, followed by Puranic, followed by Itihasas. They're all the same material, same content, same knowledge is given to cater different status of the societies, different capabilities of the people. Because Vedic, it is very, very highly specific knowledge. To get into that, to get the import of that, it requires high quality of intelligence and high quality of practice and high quality of tapas. Tapas is constant contemplation of a particular thing, is tapas. It requires, if you take the percentage of it, it will be 0.01%, something like that. Then came Puranas, the same content given, and Vedavyasa has given 18 Puranas to us and divided Veda also. Earlier there is no 4 Vedas, they have divided. And why I am telling is, Upanishad, there are several Upanishads, more than 1,000, 108 are isolated or identified as good. Out of them, 10 or if 10 are studied, that's very good. In one of the 10 is Taittiriya Upanishad. I'm mostly addressing because I know there are this audience are of different countries, varied, and they may be knowing or may not be knowing. But if I am successful in introducing something to them, they can pursue. They have to pursue. Taittiriya Upanishad has 3 parts. One is Shikshavalli, another is Dhrugavalli, another is Anandavalli. We limit ourselves to Shikshavalli. That too, I am just referring only, passing reference. Shikshavalli is something to do. Shiksha means training, education in the modern sense. And what kind of education to understand this universe you require. And at the end of the part, the beautiful part of beauty of it is, you have a convocation address or convocation message to the students, those who pass 12 years after 12 years of Gurukula. When they go out of Gurukula, there is a code of conduct given in Shikshavalli. And that code of conduct, I don't want to give everything of that. I will give a few. For example, Swachaya na Pramaditavya. That is, don't neglect your Swachaya, self-study, continuous throughout life. Deva Pitrukarya Abhyana Pramaditavya. That is, Pitru and Deva. There is a different meaning, deep meaning in Devas are principles of creativity, principles of universal principles of guiding several things, several principles. And Pitrus are guiding principles for germination. It is not only human germination, any germination. That is Pitrus. Though you are indebted to them, so you do. That is the. And then there only can Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. That is there in that convocation address, the message. And in 1926, if I am right, Rabindranath Tagore was asked to give a convocation address in Lucknow University. You can get it in Google. It seems he went there, he explained only these 10 or 12 precepts given in convocation message in Taittiriya Upanishad only. That gives a lot to the youth, a lot of guidance to Islam. And at the end he says, Etad Upasyam, that is, we have to meditate on this. And finally, there is no other way except this. That is, he has given a beautiful development of the subject. And at the end, students, he gives, you can practice it, you can do it. And finally, he says, there is no other way than this. That is the logical conclusion of Taittiriya Upanishad for a convocation address given. I tell to my audience wherever they, can you date this? Vedas are Vedic age. If you go to Western filter, all Western, if you say, I was to present a paper in Dharma in one of the universities and I was referring in Google. No Google reference gives the date of Rigveda beyond 1800 BC. This is you can't find, because Westerners, they don't allow anybody to be superior than their thinking, so they don't allow put it back more than 3000 BC or 2000 BC. That is, and we academics now we are now realizing, but still we lost the opportunity. We have to rebuild it. See, these references which you are given by these, we know all our Indian, all our scholars, all our professors know it is not correct. But they all refer the same thing, giving the same thing, and millions of references have gone. Unless you give this reference, you are not recognized in the Western world. You don't get Western trips to US or Pulitzer, some, some assignment, some scholarship. Millions of, similarly, that happened to our history, that happened to our Vedic studies, that happened to our Puranas. And they are now, though we know, after all, we know Mahabharata is 5,000 years. Who knew? What proof you want? Mahabharata, if you take any almanac in India, right from Kashmir, you have a different almanac. Maharashtra, you have a different almanac. Northeast in Assam, you have a different almanac. In Kerala, you have a different almanac. In Andhra, we have different almanacs. But in all the almanacs, Yudhishthira Seka Yugabdi, 5264 something, it's common. And 5,000 years, it is continuously coming in this country, in all the parts of this country. And what else you require? And why don't they believe it? Why don't they take it? Is it our failure? Okay, I don't want to dwell upon that. But giving this Western filter, my friend used to say, unless you pass through Western filter, you will not be recognized. So Western filter is whatever they give references, you have to refer it again. So that is what happened to our. This is to be known, to be appreciated by the youth, not only youth of India, youth of the world, because truth cannot be subsidized, cannot be suppressed. Truth is truth. Truth will come to light sooner or later. I was giving a lecture in University of Birmingham, not university, at Birmingham, at Glaxo, 2 years back. Forgotten history of India. We have our history much older than the Mughal histories and all this. glorious histories. South, I don't want to, if you want to know Indian history through ages, you will get number of kingdoms. They're all flourished very well. Maurya is about 300, 400 BC. Okay. Even before that we have Yudhishthira. And after that also. So this is to be brought to the light. That is the task of the youth of all the countries, any country. The truth should be known to them. Then the harmony will come. I will tell you one more thing. The UNESCO recently, I think there is a report, have identified 45 civilizations, ancient most civilization, 4,000 years, 5,000 years, something like that. They're all great civilizations flourished at one time, and they contributed a lot to the humanity. And none of them exist now. All of them are in either in museums or in textbooks. So only the Hindu religion or Hinduism, I myself don't take it as Hinduism, because Persians has given to us as Hindus or some 2000 years back or something, beyond Sindhu or Hindu. We took it. And because there is no other way to identify this country, because they are not Muslims, they are not Christians, they are not Persians, they are Hindus. That's not correct. Before this Hinduism or Hindus name is given, what are we? We are Bharat. We are Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is much abused and misused word, and they created a false picture by the Western scholars. Sanatan is outdated. It's nothing, all blind beliefs, something like that. I also believed since 20 years back, because we are made to believe. That is exposure. But I came to know, I'm realizing now, and people are realizing, Sanatana is the age-old, ever new, and everlasting. That is the correct definition. That's why it is existing. What happened to other, you call it Hindu civilization or whatever it is, but it is Sanatana Dharma is correct. It is not civilization, it is not religion. Hindu is not religion. Hindu is Dharma, it's a way of life. Way of life is Dharma. So Hindu, because there is no other word to identify us, we are, but we have to give Sanatan Dharma and make it scientific. That is the scientific definition. Age-old, everlasting, and ever new. Why? Why this is survived? Survival of the fittest, survival of the strongest. Yes, it is fittest and strongest. We have our weaknesses and strengths. But the greatness of, I don't know why, only in this country, our youth should know. And youth distributed all over the world should know why this culture is still what all the Vedic, even is the amount of practice or the amount of people or the quantity or the number of people practicing Vedic way of life may be reduced, but methods of preparation, methods of practice are not gone. Right from Vedic rituals to Puranic rituals. That's a different subject. And whenever these Vedic rituals or Puranic rituals or any aberration comes into society, in society, so-called Hindu society, let us call it again Hindu society because we have to identify. But in Bharat, there are corrective measures taking place from time to time, from century to century, even decade to decade also. Even now we have hundreds of reformers which are giving true sense of our culture and tradition. For example, I mentioned here Shankaracharya. When Shankara came, all India has gone out of the so-called Vedic practices because there are several reasons. Anything is nature has got its own way of corrective measures. That is also I know. Its own. So when it gone in the name of Buddhism, Buddha is a great man. Buddha is a realized soul. But in the name of Buddha, so many, after so many years, it is degraded. It degraded to such an extent they are not neither Buddhists nor Sanatanists. They are Pashanda, that is, agnostics have become. So that correction, where Shankaracharya, he lived only 33 years. And he traveled all over India 3-4 times and wrote several books, several works, which are very, very standard. And single-handedly walking, he converted and established Vedic Dharma. Vedic Dharma means actually it is practice of Veda. For our existence, Veda is the base. And whatever the developments are done on this method, on this technique, on this platform will survive. So Vedic Dharma. So Shankaracharya is one reformer. Similarly, several reformers have come from time to time in India. For example, Guru Nanak, Guru Gobind Singh, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Vivekananda, and Ramana Maharshi in South. Several hundreds I can give. Why? I don't know whether any other country have got such corrective measures. In India only we have corrective measures. Though they are, again come to religion. Religion is something to do with faith. Religion is, but Dharma is, for everybody, Dharma is same. Dharma definition is same. That is code of conduct, code of conducting the life. All these things are given in Dharma. That is the same. So we mixed Dharma with religion. It's not correct. Hindu faith is religion. For example, in Hinduism, there is the freedom of faith. There is no limit. Even in the same house, one may worship Shiva, one may worship Shiva Shakti, one may worship Ganapati. As mantra also, as a upasana, or generally average Hindu family does everything. They have the freedom of religion is the best available in India. One should, if you want harmony, this should be complete. This should be copied. This is freedom of religion, and Dharma is uniting factor. And for example, in our India, we have cultural nationalism, cultural oneness is always there in spite of different princes and principalities in this country. We know at the time of our freedom, so-called freedom from British, we have 635 principalities. One principality is maybe equal to one taluk. And Mysore, kingdom of Mysore is from Mysore, Karnataka, part of Andhra, full of Andhra, part of Orissa, and part of Tamil Nadu. That's one of the biggest. So all these kingdoms, they have their own rule, their own practices, but for all this, unification is culture, Hindu culture. For all of them, even the preceptors of different faiths in this country, for example, Sikhism, Buddhism, and Shaivism, Vaishnavism, for all of them, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Veda, Bhagavad Gita is all respected. Everybody follow it. Everybody teaches it. Everybody practice it. Everybody preaches it. That is the beauty of this country. That is the uniting and unifying factor of this country. So we have to accept, we have to propagate, we have to tell our youth the importance and strength of the country, strength of our culture. Culture based on dharma. Dharma is Vedic dharma. And if anybody wants to date Vedas, I will be very happy. Recently, I met a professor, is Professor Kaul, very interesting, very intelligent man in New Jersey. When I asked, can anybody date Veda? Somebody did, there are dating techniques. He said 15,000 BC. Maybe or may not be. 15,000 BC, no Western philosopher, no Western scholar is prepared to give more than 2000 BC anything. Even Mahabharata period, I have at least 15 references, which dates Mahabharata 600 BC to 1200 BC. They don't go beyond that. They don't want to. Very few references of Indian references about 3000 BC is given. So this is the state of affairs. This should be corrected. And when this is corrected and given proper outlook, proper approach towards these things, then only harmony, there is possibility of developing harmony, and that can be done through youth. Youth is a wonderful period, and the youth, I read, there is no age for youth. That is another dimension. Youth is something to do with the mental makeup of the individual. That's a different thing. But normally, youth in any country, he feels I can do anything. Nothing is impossible to me. That's a good, then only things will happen. Then only changes will happen. So changes will happen, changes to positive side should happen. So positive side, this type of thinking, this type of thought processes we have to convey to them. Then if they think, if they get it, if they take it to their heart, they will work out. That is to be done. That is our responsibility. That is our duty. See, I tell my friends, there is what is called Pitru Runa, Samaj Runa, and Rishi Runa. Rishi Runa means we have our ancestors, jnanis, philosophers, social philosophers and social scientists. They are called munis and rishis in our tradition. But in the Western tradition, we can put it in social philosophers and social scientists who always think of the welfare of human beings, irrespective of their country, nation, irrespective of religion. They are the real scientists. Even though, I tell you, in our tradition, in all our prayers, at the end of prayer, without knowing or knowingly, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. What does it mean? Anybody thought? Sarve Jana, irrespective of nation, creed, religion, everybody should be happy, should be safe and happy. That is our niche daily prayer, even after any prayer. That is our concluding remembrance. We remember, we give this remembering caption, heading or principle. Daily, thousands and lakhs of times it appears, Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka, actually this loka is 7 lokas. All the lokas. 3 loka is one, 7 loka up to Brahma Satya loka is another. Let all the lokas be. That is the highest. That if you try to know what is those lokas, what is these people at the different lokas does, and Brahma loka is the creative, that is Satya loka is the highest. Beyond that is the another loka, that is what is called Goloka. Goloka where Krishna and Radha, that's a Goloka. That is beyond, not connected to our creation. Beyond creation, even Brahma is created. That is all well defined in Bhagavad. And I tell you one more thing to the youth. Bhagavad was written by Vedavyasa. Vedavyasa is a great scholar and rishi. He is himself called Narayana. And in the beginning of Bhagavata, he mentioned he has seen the flow of time as the flow of river. Just imagine, flow of time as flow of river. That is the past tense, what has happened in the past, what is happening in the present, what is going to happen in the future. All these three simultaneously has seen it. And he cautioned, I am seeing this to get over this crisis. You study Bhagavad, understand Bhagavad. I bow down to all of you with folded hands. He says the same words with folded hands. I am telling you, follow Bhagavad. Bhagavad, actually, I am fortunate to know something from my Guruji, some parts of Bhagavad, the depth of Bhagavad. But I can't claim I have read the whole of Bhagavad. But Bhagavad is the ultimate. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad is the ultimate. But I don't prescribe to youth to go to Bhagavad. But Bhagavad, what it contains, what it said, and what are the important precepts they are given by Vedavyasa. If that is understood at this level, it is enough. It will help to create harmony in the society. It will go, and if you are able to pass it on to the rest of the society and the youth also, it is possible nowadays. Interaction, there is no border, there is no everything is available. Google is available, friendship is available. If we can pass it on to the youth, nothing like that. We have to take it up. Bhagavata is that he has given it. Actually, what I want to say is, I'm not giving anything of my own. He himself, this is 5,000 years back. I bow down to all of you with folded hands. If you want to survive, if you want to get mukti or get out of this routine and realize real what life is, you follow Bhagavad. That is given by Vedavyasa. So these are the things we have to practice, at least try to understand first. I don't recommend the students should stop everything and follow Bhagavad. There are people who study Bhagavad for decades. There are people who study, at least you know what is the importance of it, a glimpse of it, you try to understand. Then it will go. It will help. What I tell you is, all our scriptures, including Ramayana, Mahabharata, every Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, everything stresses on human values, human life, how to conduct your life better, best way. And ultimate goal of any scripture or anything is realization of self-realization. That's the ultimate. It's not easy, but that is the ultimate. But a journey towards that will make you more fit to live and let live. For example, I tell you, I can give you any number of examples. In Ramayana, when Bharata met Ramchandra at Chitrakoot, requesting to come back, but there's a very beautiful discussion between them. Why you should come back? Why you should not come back? And Ramachandra's Bhagavan Ramka arguments is superior. And that actually there are 40 different features. He asks Bharata, how you are conducting your kingdom? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? That is all nothing but statecraft. You can see that. That was written thousands of years back in this country. The best case, modern management of statecraft, if you want to learn, you can learn from that. Unfortunately, we are not, now some IIMs are, all these people are taking up something, but that should come because they are there, the eternal values, and they practiced and showed. So these are the things our youth should take up, and our youth should be exposed, and our youth, because our youth, I'm talking because my background is Indian, but though I traveled all over the world, I don't mean that only India is having this kind of knowledge. There are rishis everywhere. There are rishis everywhere. For example, Tolstoy, Western philosophy. For example, in America, Thoreau was there, and Thoreau and his colleague, he is a rishi. He has given human values and life. And but how many knows his name? That's it. So even in India, now the situation, because of Western influence or whatever it be, we neglected our scriptures, thinking that it's all mythology. It is not mythology, it is history. Itihasa, they call it. Ramayana and Bharata, it is how it happened. Itihasa, the meaning is, Itihasa is, it is how that happened. So you have to take it practically, and you have to propagate it for the harmony of the universal world harmony. If you can take up this, then we can reach, we can at least achieve a path to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a Vedic precept. All the world is one family. We don't differentiate. Sarve Jana Sukhna Bhavantu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is a concept. And it is given to us, to our society, thousands of years back. I don't know what happened. So, for example, I don't want to digress much. I was in UK and Glaxo. There is a lady. She is Jane. She is married to an Indian. They live together till their life ends. And there he is a disciple of our Guruji's friend, Shivananda Murthy. He is also no more. Shivananda Murthy is a walking god, and he has influenced lakhs of families all over the world. And Jane is, for example, Jane herself is an example. She tells, Hare Guruji, Hare Murthy, I am indebted to Guruji. And her experience, she said, when she was giving birth to his son, she was unable to face the trouble, pains, and Guruji stood next to her in the hospital, and after delivery, he disappeared. She herself said it to me. She is no more, just now Last year, she also passed. So, and I asked, by the way, why I'm referring this? Jane, you are in Glaxo, and that is what is called that northern region. How far you can look back into history in this region? That is, as for example, England, Hare Murthy ji, we can't go back 300 years. Before thousands of years, India is much civilized. I know that. She herself said it. And we lost it. We should give it to the youth. This is my personal, there are several experiences accepting such things. Several, for example, my Guruji, I don't want to introduce. He wrote several books and we lived with him. And my Guruji and Shivanmurti ji are friends. But everybody has his own discipleship. Everybody and Guru. For example, I would like to tell you one more thing. Guru is same, but forms are different. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, we study, na? Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Sachat, Parabrahma, Suru Sachat, Param Tasmai, Sri Guru Venma. All Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Shiva, Guru, but all beyond all this Parabrahma is there, Param Brahma. He is the Guru for everybody. Whomever Guru, whichever Guru you belong to, is representative of Param Brahma. That is, don't differentiate gurus. Because everybody gets his guru depending on his jiva lachana. That's a different subject. I don't want to go into that. So this kind of information, this kind of education should be given to our people. That is the importance. That is the time. These are the time-tested processes and time-required processes, and we have to put the rail on rails again, and take our journey further, so that we can take all the human beings, all the world, into the safer journey into harmony. I close by by one thing. I'm addressing mostly Indian youth. But when I talk to Indian youth, I always say, you have best of things knowledge available to us. But very few practice, very few understand and very few practice them. Knowledge is available. But in the West, I tell them, you get and imitate West if you want to imitate West. You imitate them for discipline of knowing subject or studying subject, going into depth of subject, going into particularity of a subject or research. These things you go and adopt. We don't have. Actually, our people talk everything. They don't do anything. They don't take up research also very seriously. Many people, they take only for PhD. But general, in the West, the system is that unless you go deep into that, you will not be awarded PhD, one thing. And he will not be satisfied also. I will tell you one example. And very few such examples are, you don't get an example in India. There is a novel called Roots. I think many of you know, written by Alex Haley. He is a black. He comes from Africa. He did 15 years of research and how the African blacks were transported to India. It's a beautiful to America, and how they were slavery. Actually, in America, we know that about 150 years back, the men are sold as cattle. It never happened in India. That doesn't mean we are great, but it is fact. Is it allowed in the human trading? So let us not go into those details. And one thing I would like to, without apologizing, Hinduism is all inclusive and everlasting. And plurality is the strength of Hinduism. And if the other religions also accept this plurality, they will also survive. But there are some religions, I can mention it. One believe in book, one believe in the book. We all go to heaven. You are all sinners. You all go to hell. That includes our Hindus and everybody, Jains, Buddhists, Sikhs. Is it true? Is it a universal religion? Another religion, if you don't follow this religion, you don't deserve to be alive. You can be eliminated. They don't preach, they practice also. They practice also. It happened recently in Udaipur. And several times, India has went through several upheavals like this. This thinking should be changed. This should come through youth, and the youth should be given proper understanding of our traditional values. I will conclude with my lecture. So, for example, we have several Shanti mantras in our. Shanti mantra is the beginning of any meeting or any time you will. So, asatoma satgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorva amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti. What is the meaning of this? If you know, this itself is universal pride. Asatoma satgamaya, from untruth to truth. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya, from darkness to light. And mrityorva amritangamaya, from death to eternity. Please lead us. That is the prayer to the Supreme. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. These Shantis are free. This we daily lakhs of times it is observed somewhere or other in India. Otherwise, we talk of Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahe, Tejasvina Vaditamastu. Sahana Bhavatu, let us be together. Sahana Bhunaktu, let us enjoy together. Bhunaktu means eating. Actually, in Bhojan Mantra also they said, but let us enjoy the fruits of, even in any congregation or any seminar and any meeting, they start Sahana Bhunaktu, let us enjoy the fruits, the results. Sahaviryam Karavavai, that is, let us endeavor together. Sahaviryam, let us. To Mahavid Dvishavahai, this is very important even in academic circles, and let there be no jealousies. You can differ with my argument, with my point of view, but there should not be anything. Mahavid Dvishavahai, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the prayer, this is the Vedic prayer we utter. We start any beginning of any meeting or any bhojan also. Now, if you know the meaning of it, then only you will appreciate. We have to tell these things. This is simple. These are simple. And these things we have to give. We need not give the depths of knowledge, Veda, intricacies of Veda. All this not necessary. You should start with these things. If these things are given to them, if they take up to their mind, to their heart, particularly to their heart, it will go a long way. They will do much better than we are doing. I know I have faith in youth. I have faith in youth. Will definitely come to time. Anyhow, in the cycle of the time cycle, it will happen. Now again, it is coming to positive side. I wish all our youth understand a little bit of what I'm not a scholar. I'm giving through my experiences and what all I gained from my gurus in this. I'm a nuclear chemistry man. I taught nuclear chemistry. That is different thing. That is to do with my living, with my day-to-day finances, living and all. But real life is embedded in this process. That is also embedded in our life earlier in our times in education itself. I told you that's why Taittiriya Upanishad. That is education. The education which gives you about enlightenment of life and purpose of your life, putting into practice in the economics of daily life. That also, these are all not different in those days.
Thank you, Professor Murthy. I think
I
yes,
think
time is
I will close it.
right.
I just like random thoughts coming and I close it. If there is any questions or discussion, I'm very happy. I don't know what I convey to you, but what came to my mind, what I feel, I
Thank you.
express it.
Thank you, Professor Murthy. It has been very enlightening. And if I may request Dr. Surendra Purohit, our national president, to say thank you. Time has gone a little further, so we probably will. Yes, Dr. Purohit, you are on mute, please. Can you unmute?
Oh, I taken more time or what?
That's all right, Professor.
There is no room for discussion or question and answers.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Murthy, it was a great presentation, and a lot of things goes above the head, because when we are bringing up in the childhood, in our school, never taught those things.
Yes.
We talked about Babur, we talked about Akbar, we talked about the history
Right,
of those people, and held above that. So we thought that is the only thing. Also, the name of the secularism, they taught something differently, and which is practice which our Hinduism practice.
Right.
And one thing is for sure, that this is a democratic country. Why not India become a Hindu? And the great is a democracy, which Hinduism has that. So I think we have our knowledge is not that great, but now that we are seeing what is the thing happening in India, and the youth are going in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
All over the world. In India, I can see that the people are throwing the stone, killing people, cutting the head. That is not the way the India is. That is not the Hinduism.
Yes.
I think that has to be changed, and only the thing can be education in the early, and also the politician has to change themselves, not for their own benefit, for the country. Other thing which in our science, medical science, is very simple thing that teaches you everything. I think that is becoming more popular. There's a good thing. And things which I say that there are three energies. One is the physical energy, and the spiritual energy. And these three things children have to master. And if you master those things, physical energy by doing the exercise, by the yoga, also energy, you have to control your emotion, which is shown in our Hinduism, and also this energy. And if we go for this energy, we master it, I think our youth will be different. And I don't want to take much time because other people have to ask.
Thank you, Dr. Purohit. Dr. Agnati, do you want to say a few things as a closing remark? Bhishmji, you're on mute.
Oh, not audible.
You're on mute, Bhishmji.
No, he's speaking, but he is not unmuted.
Bhishmji, we cannot hear you. You are on mute.
No, he's going on.
मैं कॉल करके बोल दूं?
That's okay.
Are?
Bhishmji, we cannot hear you.
Is he able to hear you?
I would hope
Yeah,
so.
he should be.
Bhishmji, can you hear us? We cannot hear you. You are on mute.
Hello, Sureshi.
Now it's okay.
Hmm.
No.
One second, he's coming. Professor Murthy, just give it a second, please.
Yeah.
विवेक जी यहाँ से सुन सकते हैं?
हाँ हाँ, right,
ओके,
yes,
आप फोन पे बात करिए।
yes, हाँ.
अच्छा ठीक है, देखिए it was a wonderful speech talk, Murthy ji, it was very nice, very well done. It was extremely beautiful in terms of all the details. I wish we have more people today. It was a national holiday, so people were out there doing their own things. If there's anything, Satyaji is here. Satyaji,
Yes,
would you say something?
yes, I do
You-
want to
you
say
can also
something.
say something.
I do have something to say. Murthy ji, namaste. I can see from your talk, you really have the right pulse. I just have to make one comment is,
Okay,
can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
yes.
Yeah. One point, one thing you have to say is for the youth to appreciate Hinduism.
Yeah.
I think Sadhguru said very well.
Yes.
If I want to teach Hindu spiritual, meditation in India, he said it is. If I can teach it in US, then it will catch up much faster in India than I do it only in India.
Yeah.
And because our youth apes for West, it is a great. We have a great opportunity. Recently, a Muslim group challenged me, "What is the greatness of Hinduism?" And so I responded with some of the examples that guys had no answer to say other than some lame excuses.
Yes.
So hello?
Yes.
For example, Steve Jobs, he said, there are all over the internet where he said he has to read autobiography of a yogi every year at least once to keep him inspired. What is so interesting is before he died out of cancer, he had ordered 500. He doesn't know the number, but I probably tell everybody who attended his funeral because he knows he's going to die in a few days. He has organized everything. And everybody, every top, the people who attended his funeral are the topmost in notch in the country, probably in the world. He has arranged that a book, a personal message, a gift, a parting gift with a personal message from him. And that book is Autobiography of a Yogi.
Yeah.
Today in the West, there are enormous examples of admiration and appreciation. And I tell people, Carl Sagan, CERN, CERN, CERN Collider project in Switzerland, right in the middle of the campus is a magnificent Nataraja statue. That is all the top-notch scientists in the world are working there. Why would they have Nataraja statue? Of course, it is gifted by Indian government. Like, for example, Carl Sagan, he said that the secrets of the universe are hidden in Hindu scriptures. Like Bharat Gyan work, they have published beautiful, beautiful videos on one I saw recently, Srishti Vijnan in Vedas. And they are quoting the Western and Eastern and how each sloka is telling the secrets of the universe. When I say these things, imagine Muslims don't have these are all Western Muslims. They have nothing to say. I'm sure our Western youth, if they see this, like for example, HinduWisdom.info, if they see this, you can easily get them to appreciate this Hindu religion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Satyaji.
Nataraja is cosmic dance. Cosmic dance is represented by Nataraja.
Yes.
So I'll just give you, because we are talking about all this, there is an article of Sri Aurobindo which was written in 1905, which is called Original Thinking. And it says that how shall we recover our lost intellectual freedom and elasticity by reversing it. So you really have to develop this power of thinking in what is called original thinking. We all have lost what is original thinking. On the name of thinking, we just simply memorizing or absorbing the information. So a lot could be taught or talked about it, but I think time is going fast. So at this time, again, I would like to thank everyone to join
Vivekji,
Professor.
one
Sureshji.
click.
Yes, yes, Sureshji.
You say, I have just noticed people referring to Hinduism. I think we should not have Hinduism. Ism means imperialism, communism.
Yes.
Yes,
It is
Sanatan
completely
Dharma.
a wrong connotation.
Yes,
We should
agree.
talk about Hindutva.
Sanatan Dharma.
No, not say. I mean, if I have to say something, we should
Right.
say Hindutva, because twa at the end is ness, means
Okay.
Hindu-ness.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's what we mean.
Sure.
So now onwards, I think we should try to avoid calling it Hinduism.
Agree. Yes.
So
Very good
that's
point, Sureshji. Excellent point. So,
Okay,
yes.
but that's all right. I think it was good talk, but I think time is up.
Yes.
And
I am very
thank
happy
you very
to meet
much.
Dosapati ji here. I met him in New Jersey.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
We met at that Marlborough program.
Very happy to see you.
Happy to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. There were
Thank
other
you very
people
much.
also they could join.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Namaste. to
Namaste.
everybody.
Namaste.
I am going to Washington DC, Maryland for 10 days. Tomorrow I'm going there. We are having 3-4 meetings there. If anybody has any contact, please send it to me. I can call them.
Oh, what is your email address, Murthy-ji?
PROF Ganti. PROF. I think my biodata is there. There it is there.
Okay, I'll get it.
In my biodata, it is there. Because
Okay.
otherwise I will text you. Your number is with me.
Okay. No problem.
Dosapati.
Thank you. Yeah.